Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're coming on, please do me a favor very quickly. I want you to hit that like button. I want you to hit the share button. I want you to tag Lolly Dolly everybody. Tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad, we alive right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. And guess what? This is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're coming on, please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know the Ramon Preston Show. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome today to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston. And just in case you don't know, every Monday through Friday, we show up here on the Ramon Preston Show to share information with you that we know is designed to help you properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. So if you particularly are pursuing any dream, any desire to start, structure, and scale a business, a ministry, an income stream, or maybe wealth building dreams, the Ramon Preston Show has been designed as a platform to deliver information to you to help you make that possible. So welcome to the show. Thank you for being a part of our business community. Perhaps you're part of our ministry community. I want to say thank you so very much. Today, I want to talk to you about making financial freedom a must. Making financial freedom a must. Now, if I get a little excited today, you got to understand. So please understand. Today begins what will probably be maybe a 12 or 13 day journey because this entire weekend is filled with a few events that I know are going to impact so many people's lives. As a matter of fact, today is Friday. What is it? The 18th? Let me make sure I got my days right. Today is, Friday, March the 18th. So if you're watching, we are live today. It's actually raining here in Buckhead. Wherever you are, I don't know where you are, but prayerfully that this day has been amazing for you so far. As a matter of fact, do me a favor, put in the comments where you're watching us from. I just love when y'all share in the comments where you're watching us from. So whatever city you're watching me from, whatever state, whatever country, maybe you with Elon Musk on Mars. I don't know. Just tell the Martians I said hey, and put in the comments where you're watching us from. I love to know where our community is watching us from. Now, I always go back and look at my comments. I always go back, my team and we be lurking, y'all. We be lurking in them comments, looking and seeing what y'all doing and what y'all talking about if you're responding. So anytime you give me feedback on any of the platforms that you watch the Ramon Preston Show from, just know we're going to come back. We're going to like your posts most of the time. We're going to comment back. We'll answer questions. If you have any questions, if you give us feedback, hey, truth is, give me some criticism. I'll accept some constructive criticism, but like one of my sisters always says, if you're going to give me constructive criticism, make sure it's based on you being a person who has constructed something. That's just a free footnote. So please put in the comments what city you're watching me from, what state, what area you're watching me from, who are you, who you represent. We want to know who you representing today. All right. So as I said, this weekend is so amazing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hosting one of my first financial seminars at a church. So it's super exciting for me. One of my passions is to help church people, is to help churches, is to help pastors and ministry leaders introduce financial literacy and entrepreneurship to their congregation. It's been one of the hardest things for me to do. I got to be honest with you. For years, I've tried to incorporate that into pastors' lives, and I've tried to work with pastors for some time, and it's not the easiest thing to do, but I'm determined, and I know we're going to make it happen. So tomorrow, I'm going to be hosting one of my first financial seminars for the year in a local church, and I'm super excited about it. I know it's going to be impactful, and I know it's going to be an amazing weekend in this location. And then next week, I'll be in Miami, Florida. I'm going to be down there for probably almost a week I think 6 days I'll be in Miami, and we're going to have a big conference. We're going to be a part of some masterminds and some circles of millionaires and billionaires who are coming together. And every time I go to Miami, Florida, my life has just changed. So I'm just super excited. I'm pumped up. This is an amazing year. We are 10 weeks, 11 weeks into the new year, and my wife and I, my team and I, we've seen some extraordinary things happen so far. And guess what? I want those extraordinary things to happen for you. So today I want to talk about making financial freedom a must. Making financial freedom a must. So whether you are in the church or not in the church, whether you are in business, in ministry or not, whether you are working on a job, on a fixed income, whether you are a network marketer, whether you are an independent contractor, self-employee, a startup, a one-person business owner, whether you are a small business owner with a few members on your team, maybe you're doing it big, you're growing, you're a 6- and 7-figure earner, wherever you are on this broad spectrum of economics, here's what I want you to know. It is critical for you to make financial freedom a must. So I want to give you my definition of what financial freedom is, because when I say making financial freedom a must, what I'm saying to you is you've got to make sure you put all your eggs in the basket of becoming financially free. Now, if you know what financial freedom is, and you know what financial freedom requires, if you know how financial freedom works, and the truth is, I'm gonna share this with you, if you know what financial freedom is not, it gives you the ability to pursue financial freedom properly so that you can experience it in your life. So I want you to repeat these words after me, okay? Are you ready? Repeat these words after me. Say, as of today, I choose to make financial freedom a must. That was pretty good. I can hear you. I know you think I can't hear you? I hear you. Okay, say it again. Come on, one more time. Say, as of today, I choose to make financial freedom a must. Yeah, you just got to choose to make financial freedom a must. So what exactly is financial freedom? I'm going to give you my definition of it, okay? And you could take it for what it is. If you don't agree with my definition, all you have to do is figure out your own definition. But I'm going to give you a clear working definition of what financial freedom is. Financial freedom is the ability to do what you want. Now, you know we're having a little internet issue, so if it's taking a little time to come back up and catch with me, it's raining in Buckhead. The ability to do what you want without economic restrictions. So that's Prophet Ramon Preston's definition of financial freedom. If you want to be financially free, if you know you want to have this experience of financial freedom in your life, if you got an itchy suspicion in your shanana that God has called you to be financially free, you got to get this definition in your life. Financial freedom is the ability to do what you want without economic restrictions. So when you are defined, described, or classified as financially free, you, my friend, are living in the ability to do whatever it is that you want without, I didn't say financial restrictions, but without economic restrictions. All right? So if you're not financially free today, then that means we've got to do some work to get you to a place to where you are able to exercise your ability to do what you want, and we're going to have to move whatever economic restrictions that you have. So when a person is not financially free, I've been there, I already know what it is. When a person is not financially free, it means that they're not able to do what they want to do because they have financial, they have monetary, or in other words, they have economic restrictions. So the truth is, if you're writing this definition down, the truth is, if we can eliminate the economic restrictions that people have, we can then in turn give them the opportunity to experience financial freedom. Okay? So again, if you want to experience financial freedom, you have to choose, let's go back to the affirmation, you have to choose to make financial freedom a must. You have to choose to make financial freedom a must. Why is it difficult, or for some people, why does a person never choose to make financial freedom a must? You know why? Because they have certain economic restrictions that limit them, that hinder them, that keep them from at least accepting that financial freedom is an option, and they are no longer able to pursue what those possibilities are. So financial freedom by definition is the ability to do what you want to do without economic restrictions. So the bottom line is this: if we're going to be financially free, we have to remove economic restrictions. So let's look at economic restrictions. What are some economic restrictions that we have? I'm gonna see if you can help me understand this dynamic. What are some of the economic restrictions? What are some of the economic restrictions that we have? Well, of course, some of our economic restrictions is money. What are some other economic restrictions we have? We don't have credit. These are all economic restrictions that we can think about. One of the biggest economic restrictions we have is our mind. Because most of the time, people who are unable, meaning that they do not have the ability to do what they want to do without limitations, one of the reasons why people don't have that ability is because they have restricted themselves economically. Watch this. Not when it comes to money, not when it comes to credit. They have restricted themselves economically when it comes to their mind. In their mind, they just can't see themselves doing it. In their minds, they can't see themselves having it. And every time in their mind they try to see themselves doing it, or they try to see themselves having it, there is something that blocks them like a wall. And every time they try to cross over into freedom, into success, into increase, into a quality life, every time they try to move over into this place of freedom, guess what happens? They are blocked. They are restricted, not because they don't have good credit, not because they don't have enough money, not because they ain't got a good job, not because they don't have a good business idea. It's all because in their mind, they have certain economic restrictions. So we have to move those economic restrictions in order to begin building a solid foundation for financial freedom. But it all begins with you at least making the decision, because guess what? You don't have to be free to choose to be free. Did you catch that? You don't have to be free to choose to be free. You can actually be locked up. You could be bound. You could be towed up. You could be tied up. And in your mind, you can still at that moment choose to be free. You could be incarcerated financially. You could be incarcerated professionally. You could be incarcerated physically. And in your mind, you can actually choose to be free from any of those incarcerated moments or situations or circumstances. Now, of course, there's going to have to be a process that you go through in order to manifest the freedom, but at least in your mind, you can choose financial freedom as a must. So it all starts with your mind. It all starts with you making the choice, making the decision that, you know what, no matter where I am right now, this is where you have to be in your mind. No matter where I am right now in my finances, no matter where I am right now in my ministry, no matter where I am in my career, no matter where I am in my calling or in my assignment or in my purpose in life, I'm going to go ahead and choose financial freedom as a must. I'm going to make it up in my mind that in order for me to do what I want to do without economic restrictions, I have to be free. And in order for me to be free, especially financially free, I have to be free mentally. I have to free myself from all of these economic restrictions as if I can't be financially free. No, you can be financially free. And once you choose to be financially free, it starts the process that you're able to build on in order to manifest that freedom. Now, since you know what financial freedom is, let me give you 5 things that financial freedom is not, because I want to make sure that you do not misdiagnose, misdefine, or misdescribe what financial freedom is. So 5 things very quickly, and then I'll share with you what financial freedom requires. Like, what are the requirements for you to actually get to a place to where you're financially free? But let's talk about the 5 things financial freedom is not. Okay? I want to give these 5 things to you. 5 things is not. This should be very good. All right, so I want you to take notes and write these 5 things down, okay? I'm gonna give them to you, and then we'll talk about them, and then I'll give you the requirements for financial freedom, okay? So 5 things financial freedom is not. Number 1, financial freedom is not entrepreneurship. Financial freedom is not entrepreneurship. This is so critical for you to understand. Financial freedom is not entrepreneurship. What do you mean? Some people, they become entrepreneurs because they have dreams and desires to be financially free. But the truth is, if you're becoming an entrepreneur because you want to be free from a job, it doesn't mean your freedom from a job into entrepreneurship will equal financial freedom. That's why 9 out of 10 businesses in the United States of America fail every year. Did you hear what I just said? 9 out of 10 businesses in the United States of America fail every year. Over 60 to 70% of businesses in the United States of America don't even make money. So that means if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, and you know at least 6 or 7 more people, guess what? Most of you don't even make enough money to justify having a business. So if you're taking money from your job and you're putting it in your business to keep your business alive, your business is actually economically failing. You just don't see the failure because you're financing the failure from your business. So financial freedom is not entrepreneurship. So a lot of people become entrepreneurs, and they become entrepreneurs without doing the math on what level of financial freedom they actually want. I talk to so many entrepreneurs who have no idea how much money they actually want, and because they have not done the math and quantified how much money they actually want or need, they don't even know how to fuel their entrepreneurship. So that means they just wake up every day with an idea to be great, with the freedom to come and go, but they're coming and going with limitations and restrictions because they do not have financial freedom to assist their entrepreneurship. So it's important for you to know that that financial freedom is not entrepreneurship. The fact that you want to be an entrepreneur, the fact that you can be an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you're going to be financially free. You cannot equate the two. So freedom from a job is not freedom financially. Does that make sense? All right, number 2. Financial freedom is not business ownership. Now, some of you may be thinking, wait a minute, isn't entrepreneurship business ownership? Well, no. And if you don't know the difference, then you definitely should be on my Millionaire Blueprint program, because you should be training and learning to understand this fundamental difference. Especially if you know you have a responsibility for a family, if you have a responsibility for people, you need to know these two differences. Just knowing these two differences plays a major role in how you operate and conduct yourself and your organization on a day-to-day basis. So let me simplify it. When you are an entrepreneur and you understand entrepreneurship, you are only saying that you are an individual who's willing to go into the marketplace and make exchanges. So you can be an entrepreneur and never really become a legitimate business owner, only because here's what it means. You could be an entrepreneur making exchanges, meaning that you could take products and services, go to the marketplace, make money. You can hustle, you can grind, you can make things happen, and you can really operate as an entrepreneur with exchanges in the marketplace. But it doesn't necessarily mean you own a business, because business ownership is about owning systems and processes, but it's still not financial freedom. So the fundamental difference between entrepreneurship and business ownership is that you just out there grinding and hustling and making money and doing your thing. Business ownership, you're taking that grind and that hustle and you're packaging it in a polished system with processes that can actually make sense to you and make sense to other people. This is a more professional version, an upgraded version of entrepreneurship, but you got to understand that. But guess what? Neither one of them are financial freedom. So business ownership, owning a system, having staff, having products and services, and being able to automate certain things, and being able to have the right systems. You got the right financial systems, you got the right sales systems, the right marketing systems, you got the right products and services, you got a few people working on your team. It still does not equate to financial freedom. I know a lot of people who own businesses, legitimate businesses. They have legitimate products and services. They have legitimate staff. They have legitimate systems and processes. But guess what? They still do not have financial freedom, because a lot of what they're doing is not for a profit. It's just for them to fulfill a certain purpose, but that purpose needs to be tied to a place of freedom. So even though I'm an entrepreneur, even though I'm a business owner, even though I have systems and processes and staff and people and products and services, but everything I do as a business owner is fueled by my desire to be financially free. Now, why is this important? Because if you do not clarify your freedom financially, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be stuck as an entrepreneur and become a slave to it. You're going to be stuck as a business owner and become a slave to it, when the truth is you may have to pivot out of certain businesses, pivot away from certain products and services, pivot from certain locations. There may be certain areas you live in that have expired. Your business doesn't need to be there no more. Maybe your church. I've had to move my church from one city to another city. I pastored the church I planted for 12 and a half years. From 2007 all the way to 2019, I was the pastor of the church I planted. I led it, I fed it, I did all the things that any other pastor does. But because I think not just like a preacher, not just like a church leader, I think like an entrepreneur and a business owner as well. So I understood that there was a business side to this ministry that needed to be clear so that I could sustain what I wanted to do to fulfill my God-given purpose. So guess what? From 2007 to 2017, I was in one city. I was in one area. Once I recognized that it was time to pivot my ministry, one of the first moves or pivots I made was to relocate out of that city. I knew my time there was up. I needed to relocate. I needed to go into a different area where there was a different level of activity. There was a different demand and a need, and it gave me and our organization that feeling of, oh, okay, we really got to step up. We really got to make it work. And that's exactly what happened. And it was a move that set the trajectory for where our church has been within the last 2.5 years since I have resigned. So almost 3 years since I've resigned, and that church is still winning, still thriving, still growing, still blessed, and still raising people up who are doing all of the same. You know why? Because I understood that there was a place of freedom. So you have to be able to know that your financial freedom needs to be tied to your entrepreneurship, but it's not your entrepreneurship. Your financial freedom needs to be tied to your business ownership, but it's not your business ownership. Number 3, financial freedom, this is a big one, is not debt freedom. And the people who believe this are people who just don't know. They just don't know what they're talking about. Oh my God, I'm ruining all of my notes. Come on. Let me write this back down. So number 3, the third thing financial freedom is not is debt freedom. So just because you are debt free doesn't mean you're financially free. Because if you understand economics, then you will understand that sometimes your financial freedom is actually tied to debt, because you're able to use debt as leverage in order to get to freedom. So sometimes debt can be used as the bridge to get you to financial freedom. That's why you got to know that debt freedom is not financial freedom. Number 4, financial freedom is not wealth. Financial freedom is not wealth. So again, if you want to be wealthy, you at least understand the beginning of your wealth building process will have to facilitate your financial freedom. So I have to get to a place of financial freedom so that I can start moving to a place of wealth. There are a lot of people who are chasing a level of financial freedom, but they never get wealthy. And then they find themselves falling short, and they find themselves disappointed and miserable because they're still not necessarily where they know they ultimately want to be. Number 5, financial freedom is not, I'm going to just make it easy with this. Financial freedom is not independence from commitment. It's not independence from education. It's not independence from accountability. So a lot of times when people get to a place where they are experiencing a level of financial freedom, they become independent of commitment. That means they think their cycle of financial freedom has ended, and guess what happens? They fall back into debt, they fall back into struggling, they fall back into having to work because they thought their financial freedom was freedom from or independence from commitment, or independence from training and education, or independence from accountability. So that means if you're going to be financially free, these are things that you need to know are not financial freedom. All right. So number one, financial freedom is not entrepreneurship. It's not business ownership. It's not debt freedom. It's not wealth. And it's not independence from commitment, education, or accountability. All right. So I hope you're moving along with me on this, because I want to keep going. All right. So next, what does financial freedom require? This is my next and final point. What does financial freedom require? We want to define that. Come on, baby. I'm going to simplify it so I ain't got to write a whole lot. What does financial freedom require? I'm going to give you 3 things that financial freedom requires. Okay? I'll give you 3 things that financial freedom requires. And this is where we'll end. For those of you that are watching and you know you need to be put on a fast track to financial freedom, you know that you need to reposition yourself because you're not financially free, and maybe you misunderstand and have misdiagnosed financial freedom. I want to get you moving towards your financial freedom, but it has to be based on your commitment to make the decision that financial freedom is a must. But then you're going to have to blanket that commitment and that choice that you make to be financially free. You're going to have to blanket that with certain requirements. And so I want to give you the 3 requirements. What does financial freedom require? I'm going to simplify it, okay? Number 1, financial freedom requires stewardship. Financial freedom requires stewardship. All right, I'm going to help you understand what stewardship is. Stewardship is your mindset. Stewardship is your commitment. Stewardship is your consistency. And stewardship is also accountability. And I can promise you this. If you are not a steward, you know what a steward is? A steward is someone who assumes the responsibility of something. So if you are managing somebody's possessions, if a boss gives you a responsibility to hold a certain department down, if you're at home and someone says, I need you to hold the fort down, or hold the house down, or hold the family down, if you're a parent, if you're a pastor, if you lead people, if you are an influencer, guess what that means? That means you are a steward. And stewardship is your ability to actually execute that level of responsibility that you've been given. So if you are not a good steward over your finances, if you're not a good steward over your family, over your household, or over something somebody has given you responsibility for, I guarantee it is because you do not have the right mindset. And in order for you to be financially free, it requires stewardship. So you have to start working on your mindset. And here's the truth. You can learn about all the little tactics that I teach about, you know, just all the little strategies and techniques and tactics. Even if you learn those things, if you don't have the right mindset, if your mind has not been set when it comes to finances, so that means you've got to develop the mindset about money. You got to change your perspective about money. I talk to a whole lot of people who love God. They love God's people. They want to do amazing things for their family and for their life, but they have these mental barriers and restrictions that they cannot break out of. And the reason why they can't break out of it is because they refuse to be stewards. Because stewardship means that you have the right mindset and you're working on your mindset. In order for you to be a good steward, you got to have a level of commitment. That means you can't just be excited today and then you lose your excitement tomorrow. Listen, I have programs in my company for business and finances that range from a 2-hour event all the way to a 1-year program. And I have seen people become a part of a 1-year program and within 2 hours they fall off, literally. I know people who do good for a month or two and then they lose it for 8 months. I know people who go 8 or 9 months and then they fall off for 2 or 3 years. It is because they have the wrong mindset and they do not have commitment. This is a stewardship issue. If you are up and down in your business, if you're up and down in your career, if you're up and down in the things that you know you're supposed to be doing for your family, you're being up and down in your stewardship. And guess what that means? That means you have a mindset problem, a commitment problem, and what else? A consistency. Anybody that I meet that's inconsistent, I know they're not committed. It works together. You just can't separate this. There is no way you could be a good steward and you're inconsistent. And people who are inconsistent are not committed. You cannot be committed and inconsistent. And if you're not consistent, that means you're not committed. That means you never developed your mindset, or you started to develop your mindset and you fell off. So when I get people around me and they get excited the first week or two when they join our mentorship program, or when we start doing things together and they start learning stuff, or they go online and start watching my content and they talking real good, and then like a month later I can't find them. I'm like, well, what happened to so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? I know what happened to them. I'm just trying to figure out, do they know what happened to them? Here's what happened to them. They got a good feeling initially, but they never really locked in stewardship because they don't really want to be free and they're not willing to pay the price to be free. So that means they don't have the right mindset, they don't have commitment, they don't have consistency, and guess what that means? There is no accountability. You can't tell them nothing. They swear they know everything and they swear they're doing it the right way. The problem is, if you are in the same situation financially today as you were a month ago, or as you were a year ago, or if you're worse off now than you were a year or two ago, it is because you are not operating with stewardship. So what do you have to work on? If you're going to be financially free, here's what you got to work on. You got to work on becoming a steward. How do I become a steward, Prophet Ramon? I got to work on my mindset. How do I work on my mindset? I need information. I need to get around people who are going to challenge me. And when I start working on my mindset, I'm going to make commitments. And I'm going to stick with it and become consistent. And I'm going to be held accountable for the commitments that I make to change my mindset. So that means you got to give people like me permission to tell you that you're off. You got to give people like me permission to hold you accountable, to pull you back in. You got to give people that permission. You can't be around here mad because ain't nobody helping you. You can't be around here upset because you feel like the world is against you. No, the world ain't against you. Most people who have this resentment, because I used to be one of those people. Most people who have resentment and ill will against other people are people who are not stewards. They have no responsibility, but they want everybody to respect them. Ain't nobody gonna respect you as no leader and you're not a steward. Ain't nobody gonna respect you as a business owner and an entrepreneur or a preacher or an influencer, and you're not willing to do what those type of people are supposed to do. The reason why I gotta get up every day and educate myself, the reason why I gotta show good spirits and have the right energy and be in the right mind frame and do my due diligence and make sure that I'm always on point. You know why I gotta do that? A lot of times it's not for me. A lot of times I don't wanna do it. A lot of times I don't want to show up. I don't want to keep pushing. I don't want to press. I don't want to be the best. I don't want to smile. I don't want to do it all the time. But why do I keep doing it? Because I am a steward. I got to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, if not for me, for the people who need me, for the people who look up to me. So financial freedom requires stewardship. That's mindset, commitment, consistency, and accountability. Number 2, the second thing financial freedom requires, it's only going to get harder from here, so you might want to check out now. It requires strategies. Now, what do you mean strategies? Here's what I mean. What I mean by strategies is it's going to require more than you just running your doggone mouth. I'm just getting it to you raw. Like, it's going to require more than you always telling people what you finna do and what you working on and what you are in the process of doing and what you got an idea for and what you trying to do. And then in the same sentence, these type of people who always talking about what they finna do got every excuse in the book why it hadn't done yet. Well, I'm working on my grandchild, and I'm working with my auntie, and my uncle need me, and I gotta fix my left foot, and my right knee went out for a month, and I gotta paint my left wall, and my front door is a little it's always an excuse. You know why? Because they lack strategy. And most people who lack stewardship lack strategy. Did you hear that? Most people who lack stewardship lack strategy. See, let me put it a different way. Your creativity for strategies is linked to your consistency and commitment as a steward. So a lot of times people never open up their mind to strategic creativity because they never commit in their mind. Their mind don't even move forward because they mind know they lying to themselves. So the second thing financial freedom requires is strategies. Strategies center around education, training, and literacy. So it's just the truth. You're not going to be strategic. You're not going to have creative ideas. Your creativity will only grow when your education grows. And I'm not just talking about like academic education. I'm talking about specialized education. If you want to be financially free, and financial freedom by definition is the ability to do what you want to do without economic restrictions, then that means you got to educate yourself on what? All things economics. When I came to that realization, sometimes it takes me longer to figure things out because, you know, I take the long way home with some things. But once I get it, I got it. Once I realize that, oh, my issue is I do not have the right economic education. I am not trained and literate when it comes to money and business and finances and entrepreneurship and investing. The moment it hit me that this is why you stuck, bruh. The moment it hit me, I went all the way in. I was like, oh, I got to learn everything I can about economics. I got to learn everything I can about money. I got to learn everything I can about business. I got to read every book. I got to find every course. I got to connect to every person who's doing anything remotely close to what I want to do. And I got to go for it. And I got to drop whoever or whatever to make it happen. You know why? Because I made a commitment in my mind that I want to be financially free. And I'm not going to struggle like this for the rest of my life. And the moment I did it, guess what? I realized that I didn't lack money as much as I lacked strategy. That's a big footnote for you. So if you have a money issue today, most likely it's a strategy issue. Think about that. Even in the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, it says that wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. So the writer equates wisdom or strategy with money, meaning that when you don't have wisdom, it's because you don't have money. So if you don't have wisdom, that means you're not going to have money. If you don't have money, it's because you don't have wisdom. So if I can get the right strategies, the right creative wisdom, I'm going to find freedom financially because my strategies are linked to my education. I got to get educated. And you should be educating yourself every day. It's a mandate in my company. Everybody in my business has to educate themselves. We have a whole platform for people to be trained on. We recommend books. We bring in and outsource other content from other people. We're on a coaching program. We're being mentored by people who are way further ahead than us because we got to get educated. We got to get trained and we got to become literate. That's what financial freedom requires. It requires strategies, okay? Number 3, the final thing financial freedom requires is, and this is another big one, it gets even harder. Systems. Like, there is no way, I promise you, there is no way anyone is going to become financially free and they don't have these 3 things operating in their life. It's just not going to happen. I don't care what you say, who say it, the way they say it, it's just not going to happen. All that pie in the sky stuff people be saying, this is what it comes down to. So what do you mean by systems? I'm going to make it easy for you. What I mean is business systems. I mean business systems. I mean processes and everything that falls under business systems and processes. So that means in order for me to have systems in operation in my life, I have to understand financial systems. I have to understand corporate systems. I have to understand sales systems, operational systems, marketing systems. And guess what? All of those systems have processes in them that need to link to my practices. Like when I sit down and talk to a lot of my coaching clients, and after a while they start telling me, oh, I finally understand what you mean when you say we need systems, because you gotta have the right systems. And when you have the right stewardship, let me just show you how this works. When you have the right stewardship, it's going to create the right strategies. And your strategies are going to link you to the responsibility to create the right systems. So that means you're going to have the right business, you're going to have the right vehicle, you're going to have the right products and services, and your systems are going to automatically demand you to create the right processes. And then your processes are going to elevate your game so that you can develop what we call best practices. And your best practices over the course of time are going to start generating so much revenue that you find yourself living in this thing called freedom. But nobody gets to freedom if they never become a steward. Nobody gets to freedom if they never develop the right strategies. Nobody gets to freedom if they never integrate the right systems. Nobody gets to freedom if they never execute the right processes that develop the best practices that generate enough money for them to be free. That's just what it is. And these are complex things. These are sophisticated things that a lot of people like to just paint over and think that you're going to pay for one course and it's going to all fix everything. Or you're going to bring somebody into your team or outsource it or hire someone or contract certain things out and every problem is going to be solved. It's just not the way it is. because your financial freedom requires all of these elements that have elements that have elements. It requires all of these stewardship principles, strategies, systems, processes, practices that over the course of time start giving you the momentum you need to generate enough revenue in your life to start moving you to that place of freedom. And so I want to get you started. We have several programs to help move you into the process to make it as easy as we possibly can. But it's not going to be easy. We try to minimize the difficulty by creating programs to make them easy for you to understand so that you can be introduced to them and walk your way through the process. And so we have a signature program called the Millionaire Blueprint. It is an online virtual training program for business and finances where I teach you all of these fundamentals from financial literacy to entrepreneurship, to business ownership, to real estate investing, to family wealth building, to sales, to marketing, to goal setting. So we have like this entire exhaustive program called the Millionaire Blueprint that gives you an opportunity to learn at your own pace, to educate yourself at your own pace. And once you start learning and educating yourself, you are then able to start putting the pieces of the puzzle of your financial or economic life in place. And so if you're not understanding what it takes for you to do it, and you're not clear on how to actually get it done, and you need assistance, we want to talk with you. We want to give you an opportunity to see that we have certain tools and resources to make that transition easy for you. So all you have to do is text. You can text. We make it real easy. If you want to know more about our Millionaire Blueprint, we also have a Millionaire Mentorship program. So if doing it yourself and training online by yourself is not the best route for you, guess what? We have a mentorship program that not only includes the online training, but it also includes one-on-one coaching sessions with me and my team. It includes weekly coaching calls. It includes quarterly masterminds and workshops so we can work with you on your systems and processes. So we would love to take a few minutes to talk with you about the programs we have available. What we like to do is to take about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to assess your personal, your professional, and your financial situation. So we can do it over the phone. We could do it through a Zoom. It's a free consultation we provide for everyone to give you an opportunity to share with us what you want to accomplish. We can help you identify with what systems and processes and strategies and solutions you would need in order to execute that, what you want to do. And then we can direct you to the right program that best fits you. This is a part of our responsibility. We're good stewards. So we're not just in the business of trying to talk people into buying stuff that doesn't really fit their criteria. What do we get out of that? Except a little money on the front end. But then on the back end, you get nothing from it. Then our reputation is going to be tied to your results. So we want to properly position you in the programs that we have that we know can help you fit into the position to get whatever it is that you want to get done. So all you have to do is text the word millionaire. We make it real easy. If you text the word millionaire to this number, we will reach back out to you immediately, and we will talk with you about what the program is that we have that best fits what you want to accomplish. So all you have to do is text millionaire to 404-478-7213. 404-478-7213. Just text this word to me, and I'm going to reach back out to you, and we're going to walk you through a 10 to 15 minute assessment to identify with what program we have that can best fit that criteria. So if you are looking to work on your sales because you have a business but you're not making enough sales, if you're looking to work on your marketing, if you're looking to figure out more financial strategies, maybe tax strategies, maybe you want to start a holding company, or you started a holding company but you don't know if it's structured correctly, maybe you want to be a coach or a consultant, maybe you want to train people but you just don't know where to start, we can show you what you need to do, and we can point you to the programs that we have that could train you, educate you, and empower you to have the ability and the confidence to go into the marketplace and be successful. This is what we do. We specialize in helping people start, structure, and scale their businesses, their ministries, their income streams, and their wealth building dreams. Even if you are a pastor or a minister, but you don't have a business, but you still want to scale your ministry, you want to expand it, you want to grow it, you want to build an infrastructure for it, we have programs that are tailored to help you do the same for your ministry, your church, your nonprofit, as well as a business. So reach out to me today. Text Millionaire to 404-478-7213. I appreciate all of you for joining the show today. My hope and expectation is that you've gotten value from it and that you have made the committed choice, the decision to make financial freedom a must for your life, because you know you're a steward. You know you want to have strategies. You know if you get systems, processes to put into practice, you can grow, expand, be financially free, and do the things you want to do without any economic restrictions. So reach out to us today. Text Millionaire to 404-478-7213. You can also go to RamonPreston.com. Go to RamonPreston.com. RamonPreston.com. There you will find all the information. I mean, literally, you could go to my website. Where's my website? Let me see if I can pull it up here. Nope, that's not it. Let's see here. Let me go to the web search. RAMONE. I'm just playing now, y'all. So RamonPreston.com. If you go to RamonPreston.com, there's our website right here. Let me click on there, Ramon Preston Enterprises. Of course, it's going to look a little different if you're going to our website from your computer or your laptop. But if you're going from your phone, you'll see that there's a menu bar here, and literally you can see all of the products, all of the services, all of the programs that we have available. You see that we have coaching, we have consulting, we have training, we have our licensing program, we have a certification program for coaches and consultants. We have our millionaire groups for churches and nonprofits that we provide a 10% kickback to you if we are able to work out a partnership. RP Capital, that's our multi-strategy real estate investment and asset management firm. We actually start LLCs. We have a legal team that works with us to start holding companies and to file and form the paperwork and structure them correctly. You could see our events and all of the other information that we have. We make this website very easy and convenient for you to identify with whatever it is that we're doing that could best meet your needs. So any question you have that you don't want to call us or text us to answer, you can go to RamonPreston.com and you can literally find all of the answers on that website. So I love and appreciate every one of you. Thank you for supporting the show. I'm so excited. Y'all keep me and my team in your prayers. Tomorrow, we're hosting our first financial seminar in a local church for the year. We've hosted many in the past, but this is the first one we've hosted in 2022. And we, as a team, are looking to host at least one financial literacy entrepreneurship seminar in churches throughout the remainder of this year. Prayerfully, we'll get to a place to where every week we're hosting seminars. So you can, if you would like to host a seminar in your church, maybe your pastor needs to be introduced to financial literacy and entrepreneurship for the congregation, just have them to reach out to us. As I just showed you, if you go to our website, I just lost it. So if you go to RamonPreston.com, you'll see a link for our millionaire groups. Those millionaire groups are specifically for churches and nonprofit organizations. We have an entire program set up, deep discounts for our products and services, at least for anyone that's in those churches. And we have programs that offer pastors free access to our platform. So it's an amazing program. We want to help you. We want to serve you. We want you to win. Love you all. Have an amazing weekend. I'll be back here Monday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be giving you an update on how our financial seminar went and what we're going to be doing all of next week while we prepare to travel to Miami, Florida. The M, the I, and the A, baby. We're going to be down there in the Sunshine State, and I'm expecting not just to network with other millionaires like I have every time I go down there, but this trip in particular, I'm really intentional about getting my feet on the ground in South Florida in a way that we can start doing some major business in South Florida. So I'm excited about it, looking forward to it, and I'll see you Monday right here, same place, same time on the Ramon Preston Show.